I just got a copyright strike on something from like 2 years ago where I used natural cloud sounds. And I guess there's a patent on that natural cloud sound. Some guy hunted down his capture of natural sounds. Good for him. So you may see ads on stuff. And I guess they can't take down the ads on me because I never monetized the channel. So I guess I'm flying under the radar of the apocalypse of this faggot named Vox. So yeah, wow, put the F in faggot, that guy. So I'm using my trusty drops here. I'll put a link to these tickets. So, you know, I saw one of the guys that does he's one of the fans, apparently a fan or a guy who watches No Nonsense, and he said, you know, I got a job. I can't sit here and fucking babysit the 5-minute chart. So what do? Let's see how you put it. I don't want to say. Oh, that's somebody else. Yeah, so many ways to trade, the guy says. So, yeah, there are so many ways to trade. He goes, I have tried many. I am after a system I can use for minimum time per day as I run a small business. This is what appeals to me about algo trading manual entry. Yeah, so what I did here is I made these $5 drops, and I made the big jumbo $10 drops, which I actually wrote both sides of that, which I didn't write by both sides of the $5. I wrote $5 stops to make anywhere to $20. So the other number, the number at the end here is the actual dollar amount. Take off the spreads. This is not truly a break even. $5 to make $5 here, but you know, and that's buy only. So this is the only two sells I wrote, and these will last all day. The thing is, if you drag these out of here and you put them somewhere else, it's missing the D1. So to try to save space vertically, to make it tablet ready, so to speak, or vertical ready, I try to scrunch these names down as small as I could get them. Now, this is risk 50 to make 100 pips. It's a 1K. You're risking 5 to make 10 in the end, right? That's what it's going to be pretty much math-wise. You know, the end's going to be different supposedly, but I wouldn't worry about if you're not right by 50 pips or 10 pips, then there's a problem, right? If you can't make 10 pips, you got a problem, because if the spread's 3, I mean, you got to be right. I mean, you're getting clobbered by this price, right? If you make 20 pips, you get further from the spread. It's like, okay, you're making some money. I mean, you're able to, you know, the shipping and handling is cheap now, so whatever you mark that up for, whatever gains you can get out of it, if you can make 50 pips, you're even further from the spread, and now you can swing trade. So if you can handle a 50 pip stop, it's different than the guy that can only handle a 10 pip stop. And I see people running 3 pip stops, and I'm like, okay, great, but you really are asking to get stopped out. If you're going to hold that for 15 minutes, I mean, unless you nail this thing, I just don't know how people are trading with 3 pip stops. I mean, fucking, it's 5. That costs you 5 pips. With a 2 pip spread, that's costing you 5 pips. You're really putting a 5 pip stop in. I mean, people say they're putting in a stop of X, but that's off the bid. You're already down on the trade. As soon as you pull the trigger, you're down. And if you have tight spreads or zero spreads, you're paying commission, which is a half a pip. A half a pip commission is pretty good, right? People get all nitpicky about like the swap and all that. I just don't get it. Like, if you can pick a fucking explosive move out of the market, if you can see what the market's going to do. So the guy that says there's so many ways to trade, yeah, there's 3 ways to trade, or 4 technically, by Alexander Elder's meaning that being on the sidelines is a trade. Like, watching for your entry is you're still trading even though you're not in the market. Then you could be long, or short. So there's actually 8 positions. You're either flat, or you got in at the market, or you got in on a limit, or you got in on a stop in one direction, or you did the other trade. So that's why trading's complicated, because there's times when it's okay to put a goober trade on because it's like everybody's like, duh. During the violent phase, maybe people are, what the fuck is going on here? But when they take the British pound down, I actually did put tickets in here, so the proof is that I got these things in, but I don't know if I dropped those before or after. So the only way to tell is to go to the smaller time frame. So maybe I just missed this trade, right? Because you can't tell on there either. Okay, so I got that trade, see? I put the tickets in. Now, you see the difference between the 4-hour and the 1 hour? You really can't tell. But see, I got filled. If these lasted at least an hour, I got filled. So the concept's like this. If you had it's very tedious, but if you cared to write a 12-hour version of this ticket, or just go down the limit grids, it's all in there inside of the MT4, inside of scripts. All this shit's in here. You could just drop a rack of tickets like this. You could put a 10K in for 2 hours right here and be like, I'm buying that. For 2 hours, I'm buying that with a 20 pip stop to make 40 pips, and I'll put another rack in on top. So if there's enough money in the account, which there isn't now, but I wanted to talk about that because I'm going to buy the guppy because it's in the buy zone again. It's been ranging. It's been kind of... I don't know who's trend trading this shit, but I'd love to hear about it. Who's trend trading the guppy? Like, on what fucking time frame? Okay, what did you sell a couple weeks ago? Well, you missed your exit down here. I mean, you're buying it, right? It's an uptrend, or is it still in a downtrend? You selling it? Okay, you're short. When you gotta run trailing stop? Well, you ran your trailing stop, they stopped you out, right? There's somebody out there that did the old trailing stop trick, and the market went and got his stop. There's nothing wrong with that. He managed his trade. He sold up here. Let's hope he sold this so-called stop hunt. Whatever the fuck you call that. I call that like completely in no man's land, and like we're out of here. Even though it closed up here and you sold here, here's where people get fucked. They go, well, I sold at the market, just like you said, it's going up, sell. And then I put my stop here, and they fucking stopped me out. God damn it, I put my stop like I was told, and this is how we ran it in the test we did. We back tested that trade. Turns out, if I would have bought like a fucking whore up here in this 10 pip window, I could have made all that money in 8 hours, clean down to here into this trap. So you'd have to kind of pay attention to the structure here, but no, we sold like, and this is what just makes me want to throw up about every time that I hear about this no nonsense guy. Dude, you can't go total nonsense. There's difference between no nonsense, like the guy from Texas, the Forex Hangout. There's difference between balls and being like out of your fucking mind nuts, right? You can't just go full nonsense. You got to have some fucking sense, right? You got to be like, okay, well, this was obviously the money management stops came in here. And, okay, well, you know what? There's a guy that got filled in a long position there too, probably, because he's like, that's his confirmation. But the no-nonsense guy would probably be selling here. He'd move his stop to here. He'd move his stop to here, and he'd claim he made, well, you know what? We didn't lose too much. And we're protecting ourselves from losses, by the way. Right, okay, I got it. Sure, try to live like that. Well, you know how I avoided getting a car crash? Don't drive the car. Dude, you got it. Life's risky. Deal with it. I mean, what happened to this guy? And now he's got his new video, and the question is, hurry up and ask me questions. Now he's talking about going offshore to trade metals. Yeah, it's illegal in the United States to trade gold and silver on the Forex exchanges. So, brokers are eyeing him. They're eyeing him. Oh, God, I wish I had that one key and one key. Okay, so, for no nonsense guy, just crack me up. But, here, to the guy that says there's so many ways to get in, and he's got a day job, or he's trying to run a business, so he can't be babysitting this shit. Okay, well, I suggest you go to the $5 and $10 rack. The $10 rack's going to give you more breathing room, and I've got all the sells and buys in here. We have everything from a 13 pip stop to a 100 fucking pip stop to make 100 fucking pips. So that's $10 to make $10. Here's risk $10 to make $50, right? Now, if you know where to place a 20 pip stop to make 100 pips on a sell, and by the way, these are not just limit orders. When you drop them, if I put it up here, if I put it below here, it's a sell stop. If I put it above here, it's a sell limit. So I can actually bracket the market. What I'm going to do here is, since I'm going to have funds are going to come available here as soon as they start to rally on the guppy tonight. So what I'm going to do is what my tequila buddy did that night. He's just going to put buy stops up here. So as the margin becomes available, because I've maxed the account out, okay? So this account's been up to $3,000. It's been through the ringer. But the thing is that I have stopless tickets in there, 4Ks. Okay, just tons of 4K in there. And we're still in accumulation phase here, apparently, in the guppy. Like, we went up, but now we're either reaccumulating or we're about to melt down into this hole. If we melt down into this hole, the account's going to be destroyed, I think. Only because there's no stops on the orders that I bought at the market on pullbacks, and overpaid up here, I guess, or I never got out of it. So it looks like I could have got out of there and I'd be up about $3,000, because last night we took out the high of last week. I don't know if anybody caught that. This window here was the seller's window, right? This rooftop here, and I posted the indicator I'm running here is called bar 14 because it's 14 pixels wide approximately. I think 14p. Because if I zoom in, I get a really fat candle. But I like that slice between it so I can see the individual things. So it's a 4-hour chart. So on the daily chart, I know the no-nonsense guy or the insane nonsense guy, he's all super careful. And see, this is the rooftop that's on the 4-hour also. If you zoom out one notch, it's this 4-hour window. So that's really obvious, right? You can see that is going to be the money management, or we finally make it back to there. Also, we're making it into nearly the closed window, but not quite. And if there's enough money in the account, which actually, if I was starting off flat right now in a fresh trade tonight, I would throw in limits like this. And I already did this. This broker will take a lot of punishment. I can put a lot of tickets on. But let me go for a conservative rack of tickets. I'm going to cover a 15 pip zone with 6K, 8 hours, 30 pips stop to make 60, 18 to make $36. This is going to be a logarithmic. So it's going to get like a martingale or a Fibonacci compression. It's going to come in tighter. So when it says log, it means it's logarithmic as it can get. I think this is about 2 pips apart here, and maybe you could put Fibonacci distances there, but I like to make it so it's like kind of getting in a crush. Same thing with the, I got another one. Here's a huge zone, 7K over 20 pip zone with bad ratios, risking 40 to make 20 here. Now that's a high probability swing trade because here's risk 40 to make 40, but I'll drop it in a separate area. So if this was a Virgin account and there's $1,000 in here, I would drop all these. I know this is $50. This is a 36 pip zone. Now this is huge. This is if the news came out. 36 pip, 10K spread over at 50 pip stop to make 50. But because it's 36, it's essentially a 14 pip hard stop on that whole rack if it filled, because you're going to be 50 pips on that last ticket, and they all have the same stop and take profit, 50 to make 50. So this looks like this. Huge area. Basically covering 2 days of wick. This is a 40 pip wick window. So if you're running trailing buy limits right now, which I would be if I wasn't in this market, I mean, this is an obvious place to get the fuck in. But you just have to be willing to take. Now, here's another one, catch a falling knife. Now, here's 20 pip zone with a 3K. That's pretty conservative. Now, I could put different ratios in here and interweave them and just extend that out, you know. Also, if you think it's going to go up, say I want to put a couple confirmations in here because I don't want to babysit it. Here's like a 2-hour. It's just like the $5 drops. Like if I put this below, it's a buy limit. If I put it above, it's a buy stop, which is essentially a market order. Better to just put the 2 buy limits down here and one goober buy stop on top and just overpay if it goes up. Now, this takes more work because every 2 hours, the guy that has the business he's trying to run, maybe he doesn't want to dick around with this. Of course, 6 hours. Here's a 12-hour, 25 pip stop to make 50. These are all trade plans. This thing's fucking packed with trade plans. Now, when you get to the bottom here, it starts to go to sell mode. You got to be careful. These are sells. For 8-hour sell, this becomes a sell limit on top, a sell stop below. In the drop mode, when you see drop, see here's buy drop only. BL means buy limit, I think. Now you got to look inside here because this may be hard coded stuff in here. You always got to check everything. How do you know if it's what it is? Okay, this is going to just be a hard coded entry, like it's getting in it's getting in on a limit 20 pips deep with a 40 pip stop, and it's going to try to make 40 pips. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's going to try to make 40 pips. Oh, it's getting 20 pips deep with a 40 pip stop. So we're risking 20 to make 40 because you're buying 20 below to get 20 above. It's fifth decimal point, so it says 200. 3-hour ticket. So that's hard-coded individual little slice. This is stuff I run on the tablet because I can just double-click this one ticket. All I got to do is this, and that's a 1K. That's 35 pips exactly deep right now with a 40 pip stop. So these are all double clicks, single hard-coded, if you know how deep you want to get in. So that's different than the drops. When it says drop, okay, now it's precise. Wherever I drop it, I can put a buy stop there. So when the money comes available, okay, money's almost come available here. I want to chase the guppy with buy stops now, like my tequila friend. And what I'm going to do is just go, and I'm just going to do goober confirmation trades. I hate it, but like there's no money left in the account. Okay, there's $9 available. And I'll put very tight stops on it. Here's a 5 pip stop. So if I'm wrong, okay, they're going to kick me out. Now it's kind of got to crush through that and not come back 5 pips. But I'm just trying to max out, just trying to take advantage of all the. So here for 2 hours, I'll run trailing buy stops, 8 pip stops. So if you're a scalper, trust me, it doesn't take long to get into a 20K. I could drop these. I mean, this is I can do it with the trackball now. On the tablet, this is almost impossible though. I can't seem to get a drag, and I can't seem to grab it and drag it on the fucking tablet. I must have just a shitty screen, but outdated gear. But here, it takes a long time to blow up the account this way. Plus, what you're doing here is these could last all day. You could make these last whatever you want for a week. But you're taking such small risk, and when you drop this precisely in this window, so if you have to mark this off, and you're going to drop everything inside here, your balls should be inside this box. You're paying some girl by the hour for this. Oh, a little to the left, honey. I can't feel it. Okay, so I'm going to chase this thing on the 5-minute chart. I'm going to do a tequila trade here. This tequila trader. He had buy stops up here. You know, like I said, and amazingly, this thing retraced like ungodly amounts. It was insane. This looks really fit for a retrace here, I think. So anyways, 28 pairs. This no nonsense guy. What is going on? 28 pairs. Dude, just open a bar. You got who keeps track of this shit? Dude, I can barely keep track of what's going on here in this fucking this guppy's pissing me off. Who can afford to get that pissed off? Like, look at this Pound New Zealand. I think I put some trades in on that. Oh God, what happened here? Is this even a real chart? Fuck. What happened to the Pound New Zealand here? I don't know if they stopped me out or what. Looks like it never got filled. Tickets down there all week long. Oh, cat's coming in my buy window. Okay, so here's the scalp. CAD fell through that floor, that big hole there. It caved in, and now it's into the buy window. I don't know if I'm still in these tickets, though. I might have lost them. No, they just never filled that window. So if I was just going to put little baby tickets in like this, I don't think I'll get filled down here in 2 hours. So if I put a buy limit down here in 2 hours, by the time the market gets down there, I'm sure that 2 hours is gone. Another thing is that what's your exposure every day to getting filled? Now, you may place all these orders and not get filled, and to me, that's trading. Because that's what you're not, you just can't force entries. Look at this big insanity up here where the sellers came in these boxes. So no fill at the round yet. So here's like what I would do is if I was trading this, come in with the 2 hour script, come in with a 6 deeper, come in with the 8 super deep. This because you're trying to catch this falling knife, but you don't want to put the 8 hour buy limit here. Well, maybe you do, but you can't put them all there. You got to put an 8 hour, or maybe there's a weekly order sitting down here in this little stop hunt. I'm just calling it, I don't think they're hunting stops, but I don't know what to call it. Some market maker guy is like, the stop hunt, I'll show you. Yeah, dude, it's just market moving. Come on. It's like, she doesn't even know you're there. No, just because she's wearing a dress doesn't mean she wants you. People thinking. I don't know what this is. Drop. Oh, buy drop. Okay. I wrote so many of these, and I just try to find different trees to put them on that were narrow, so I could just run like this. See? Economically. But and there's some buy at the market shit down here too. So we have the whole. Here's some scalps. Now these are just tight stops, is what I mean by that. Here, look at 4 pip stop for 2 hours. Look at 5 to make 21 pips in 2 hours. Yeah, I wrote here's 5 to make 22 fucking pips. Talk about nitpicky. Look at all this shit in here. It's just a bottomless pit. People say, well, what's your trading? How you trading this shit? Dude, with these fucking things, you think I'm going to sit here and babysit this shit? Fuck these traders. Look at the Euro fucking, look at this thing come back to earth. Euro CAD, bye-bye. All the way back to the starting gate. Look, I'm up on this little fucking ticket. Look, I put my ticket in there. Look, they filled me dead nuts on. Still haven't hit my take profit, though. I'm a little disappointed. See, I could have scalped out of that. I could take that off the table right now. I'm so up on that trade. What a great entry. So you could just come around, put your buy limits in. The guy that's working that job, I don't know why he's following, but he doesn't know any better. He could be underwater in this trade right now, and he could have bought every fucking pip in this window. From here to here is 50 pips. This is your 50 pip buy box. Think of you have a buy box. Now, where can you place this on the chart where you could pick up a bunch of fucking tickets? Now, this is going to be a 100 pip buy box. You got to know that coming in. This giant cavern that's left behind here. Why do people say support and resistance doesn't work? I'm still baffled by that one. Is this a double bottom? Is this support? Was this support at some time? was this support. All these wicks and compression. And look at this little mini hunt. So if you have the ability to buy a 20 pip window and a 50 pip window, you could just out trade anybody, presupposing you're going to place the orders in there. And you're going to imagine where the market could be tomorrow or next 4 hours. You have to have some imagination of where we could be. So if we come down here, I would buy all week long in this window down here. I just plant a bunch of fucking tickets in there. It's obvious if it comes down, there's a high probability buyers will come in and they'll smash it back into the floor. So you know your exit's going to be here. Right, your exit's going to be here, isn't it? If you buy everything as it sweeps down, because you knew when you bought everything below here, if you bought this big smash down, which is pretty fucking big, I mean, that's 150 pip smash that you had to get out of something here. And a lot of people got out there, or they definitely got out here, but then it overshoots the runway and it starts to go after this wedge. So you always see this wedge causing this very frantic climax. Can never get to this, can't get to that. We finally take this out in this window here. But before that, there are people willing to sell that. Come in early and sell it because they're planning on getting out maybe here on the stop hunt. Or this is ranging. How would this guy, this doofus at fucking no nonsense, is telling people to go trade this currency pair because it doesn't involve the US dollar? He tells people 28 fucking pairs. Do you see a trend on this? This is a daily chart of this fucking currency. Well, we just don't trade that one. Okay, I got it. But Jesus Christ, look at all these fucking amazing range trades on here. Well, you don't trade reversals. Now just step away from the chart, would you, buddy? I'm looking at this. Look at this fucking notch. They poke up in there. You got filled. Unless the spread went to 50, you could put a 50 pip to 100 pip stop on that and make 150 pips range trading this fucking stupid currency pair. The lack of trend's your friend. I mean, is this your trend? Okay, so I can see no nonsense sold here, and then he got out here, and he's like, yeah, or he ran a trailing stop, and he finally got stopped there. Like, who's not buying this right now? And buying lower tonight if we go down. We're going to come after this stop. You would have to hold it until maybe here. Sellers come in. Maybe you're out. You take your 75 pips and you run away. What else? What else we got here for day trading people, for no nonsense sycophants, whatever they call these people that are no nonsense. Dude, you can't get more no nonsense than fucking range trading at round numbers, or just range trading horizontally. Forget the trend lines. Just support and resistance. My God, man. Hot spot to hot spot. Why is he taking people down that torturous path? You gotta find the right indicator. And then people are talking about, well, I was reading the comments. Well, there's an RSI that's like a better version. Like some guy goes, yeah, it's smooth. I love this. Yeah, Ranko, you see the trend so easy. Dude, the market's slamming around fucking 18 pips and you're in fucking 5 standard lots and you're like, oh, geez, I know the target's up there, but for Lord's sakes, I mean, why am I down $380? Jesus Christ. It was going up earlier today, and we're all the way back to the starting gate. What the fuck's going on here? Well, no nonsense guy said to buy this rally here. Did he? Well, yeah, the ATR was just ripe as fuck it could be. I bought right here. We were up on that trade, and I moved my stop down to here. It got stopped out. Fucking no nonsense. God, can't people see the fucking flaw? And then some guy asked him, goes, I get this question a lot. Why don't you just build a robot? No shit, Sherlock. No, he's a discretionary trader. I don't like the way this one looks. You just broke your rules, dude. So I don't get it. What the fuck? There's so many great fucking range trades out there. 80% of the market's ranging. No, I'm a trend trader. Because I can make 300 pips. Dude, you made 300 pips. It's up 100. It's down 100. It's up 100. Yeah, you made 300 pips, but dude, you're 150 pip swings on the way to make 300 pips. Look at this nice pullback here. We're underwater on this trade. That's a 3K I picked up on one of these droppity drops. But you can see how the sell limit's up here. Right, that's a stop. That's take profit. So I don't know if I got filled on these guys. I might have made money, though. I don't even know. I don't have time for that. I'm going to have Jeeves bring the Ferrari around. See, I put the sell limits up there. I don't know if they might have expired. But I put them up in that window religiously. Right there. See, I marked it off. I'm not stupid like everybody says. Look at that top tick Tommy right up in that slot. Fuck, man. It's such a dumb shit trade. Now I just put buy limits down here. The next place to sell is up here. Probably above here, because if we ever take that out, it's probably going to roar. Hear me roar. Yeah, that's your, what's her name? The Adele trade. What else? Dalian back to the starting gate. I'm going to put a buy stop. I'm going to go tequila on this and put buy stops. And get involved. I'm going to get involved in this trade. And this thing about getting involved in these trades, dude, you're in with a fucking 10-foot dick. Why are you trading at the market so big? This no-nonsense guy, I mean, Forex Hangout guys, well, I'm going to risk $500 to $1,000. Why? Because his account's so big. He saved all that money to trade that big. Well, I don't know. I just can't see it. I just don't know why you... I mean, to me, I guess I own my own business for years, so for me, if I can save $1.50, I'm going to do it. Right? If I have a 20 pip stop, a 25 pip stop, I have all these tickets I wrote. And to me, it's just like a big library of trade plans. Like, look, it's 14 to make 60 goddamn pips in a 6-hour thing. Are you kidding me? That's if I can make 60 pips. I'm giving it 6 hours to come into here. I mean, you could sit here and lay all these tickets in. Yeah, if you only got 15 minutes to lay them in, I'd go for these big racks and I just pick a fucking stop and go, you know what? I'm trading with a if you want to rewrite the stop in there, you can find it in the code, I'm sure. Here's 20 pip stop. Right, so here's your, at the top you've got your stop. Everything else follows. Here's your spacing. 2 pips apart. If you want to turn on this other part of the grid, you got to turn it on throughout the whole fucking thing. So, it's going to last for 8 hours. Okay. Yeah, this is the only thing I know how to do. Is edit the script. It's not a robot. It's a one-time launch. This becomes a sell if you place it above current. It becomes a buy limit if you place it below current. Sell limits above, buy limits below on these grids. You want to sell up here? There's your sells. Linear, I mean, that's a logarithmic with a 20 pip stop to make 12 to make 20. If it plays out, you'll make risk 10 to make 14. There's inverted risk on here. So if you know kind of how to pick up a few pips, high probability pips there in the hot spots, I wouldn't worry about risking 40 to make 20. You'll probably make your 20. But you can't trade the whole thing like that. Or you can't trade break even on everything either, because you just never. So that's that. You know, you just, if you've only got literally 15 minutes a day, like this guy's saying, this no-nonsense guy, then put these fucking tickets in and see what happens. I mean, you just have to do it on a demo to see that, oh, you know, look at that ticket got picked up. Like, I know how to place tickets in the hot spots. Like, look at me. I don't think you have to be too big a genius for this. Like, you have to think about this low here. This is a buy zone. Okay, this is all buy zones. But you buy more or your tickets are going to last longer, which is buying more. You expose yourself to more, you buy this really heavily. This is a daily chart. If we ever come down there, you would want to buy it. And here you would buy, you kind of get in lighter here, but very heavy down here. I don't know if this is helping. This is a very crude trade plan, but this is what works, right? Because the same thing worked here. If you put in buy limits here and you get picked up, see? But that's only like a 15 pip window. This is a goddamn 100 pip window. So you have to adjust your trade plans for that pullback. Like this window here. If you bought from here down, you are now up. This is a daily chart. You have to endure all this punishment until you finally make money on this, right? Are you up for that? Because if you bought every 10 pips on the way down, and you held the whole thing through this whole swing, and maybe you got out here, because this is really the bottom to here, you know. A lot of people, you know, that bought this, right? They're getting out there. And not to mention what's driving this rally is, well, first we fill this, I get to the top, they pull it back off. Here's a little baby trap. The first little trap here, we take out this fractal and they pull it back. Then here comes the structured traders. Here comes everybody. Trend traders got their trend line drawn. Daily, this is a trend line on daily closing prices. Do you really need a fucking indicator? Are you so, no offense to these no-nonsense people, are you so fucking retarded you cannot draw a line here and see that's a downtrend? You cannot see that this is like this is like your classic redistribution, or it's supposed to be accumulation. You cannot see that they hunted this guy's stop. Well, no, because they're too busy looking at their stochastics or whatever the fuck. They're non-dirty dozen. They're clean 100 or whatever the fuck these guys are. I just don't get it. Then they're asking each other, what do you think about, well, and some guys go, you know, well, your ATR is your final filter of confirmation, you know. Can you imagine trying to go out to the bar and get laid with these guys? Well, you know, but her car is not red. I know, but look at her ass. What you don't understand, man, she's driving a Mazda. Okay. And these guys got every fucking excuse not to take a trip. Well, we don't want to risk anything. You know, last girl had a Mazda. Remember her? What the fuck happened to these people? Look at this little hole just got filled here. Wow. So we could keep melting down. That's okay. We'll gobble that up on limits. I just can't take it, man. Okay, we've maxed this account out, I must say. When I say we, I mean me, myself, and I. It's all about me. But seriously, I know there's people that know what I'm talking about here. As far as this is 8 hours, so H8 is 8 hours. That's a 16 pip stop, made 32. Dude, I must have, and there's way more scripts than this, but these are like my latest, greatest. These are all limit drops. The nice thing about these is they are buy and sell. If I put it up here, it's 12 hours of sell. So the guy that has that gig, here's a 12 pip range. So people say, well, how do I know where to put that? Okay, I would buy here you just have to ask yourself, would you buy here for the next 12 hours? And I say yes. So I put that in with a 15 pip stop to make 25, and I put another 12-hour bank in. Okay. Next currency. Now, if you want to trade 28 pairs, I would suggest the daily charts. You're like this. You're saying, okay, I'll buy this thing. Okay, next currency. I'm just talking about the buy side here. I'll buy here. I like that for 12 hours. Okay, next problem. I wouldn't give it any more thought than that. It just doesn't need it. Here, I want to buy this plunge. So I'm actually going to go and I'm actually trading kind of a hedge thing because, you know, the other ones I just dropped was Australia and New Zealand, which is opposite Canadian. You know, typically if New Zealand rallies, then Canadian's going to drop. That's just kind of how it is. Not exactly, but kind of. Of course, this looks like it's going to drop. And if you scalp this window in oil, the scalpers got out. See where they got out? They got out on that wick bottom right there. boom, they're out. Plus, the new sellers came in here, the stop hunters. But if I was trading crude, I would just put buy limits, whatever I could afford down here. And I'd buy just a ton down here. Like at 49 a barrel, I'm just going to load the wagon, you know. Just like I would have got in light here and loaded underneath here all the way down to here's where I had martingale in really heavy. These 2 wicks, you bet the ranch right there. Because when they stop hunt that, they are going to come flying off that. Well, they may not, but if they do come flying off that, they're going to fly hard off of that, and they came out of that thing $3 clean out of that. It's like a whale tail on a, that's the weekly, by the way. The daily, in 2 days you made that. So, and the weekly is very good for that, like rock bottom wick price. What else do people trade? They trade this obnoxious currency. This is going to come roaring back, so it looks like. Climbing out of the hole here. What else we got? Euro, CAD. That's the one I'm up on. CAD yen. Climbing out of the hole. So here's a fill we missed. We could have packed in a bunch of buy limits in here. I don't know if I got filled on those. But that's a obvious place. And actually, I'd even buy this. So I'm a very aggressive buyer. Like I'll buy these new lows and I'll go underwater. So here's where you get in on bigger tickets here, right? When they take out this 4-hour chart, when they come in and test Asia low, in here too. If this is a daily chart, same thing would hold true. Of course, a little wider, right? There is no place to get on the daily. There's nothing about the no-nonsense guy. In my system, the only place to buy would have been here. This is the only stop hunt. The only lower low in a so-called uptrend. This is another currency that they probably trade because it doesn't involve the evil dollar. I think most people would have cashed out here. That's the sellers coming in there. So this is a big, giant shelf. And I think no problem putting sell limits up here. So here's a 50 pip zone. That's a 10K and a 50 pip zone. 10 pip stops, so you're going to get stopped out of every one of those. You won't survive the whole rack. Here you would, 40 pip zone with 80 pip stop, so essentially a 40 pip hard stop on that. What else? I don't want to max out the system. Everybody trades this, don't they? What the hell this thing is? Look at the spread on that. Is that insane? Okay, so yeah, it's in the link there. This hightail link, all that stuff's in there. But you have to kind of pick through it. Some stuff says $5 drops. Now that's in a separate folder. $10 drops, I think. But there should be limit drops, which are what these are, or I call them limit grids or grid drops. GD meant grid drops. Here's a hedge. This is kind of a buy stop. These are complicated scripts. I think this is a buy stop, sell stop thing. It's bracketing. So you have to make sure you run this on a demo, because if you click that thinking it's going to be 9 pip stop to make 18, it is. But this is going to literally bracket the market for the spreads here bad, so it'd probably blow it up. But let me just throw one up there for kicks. Okay, so this is a hedge. Let me delete those so you can see what it looks like. So you're waiting for kind of a small bar to launch this 5-minute chart. I'm not going to wait. Okay, if I double click that, see it puts a buy stop and a sell stop with a 9. So you have to stack these up when the market's quiet. Here's 16 to make 32. But it's getting in about the same pips away, about 3 pips away. So it's putting on non-directional trades here in the hedge thing. So that should be in one of those folders. It's pretty complicated. As far as I think on the site and the hightail thing, there is one version of this. If not, I can upload this current one, which has a lot of shit in it. But when you double click this, the one that says hedge, it's going to bracket it with buy stops and sell stops. It's not going to get into the market. Like here's a 15-minute. And so I put a wider stop on the 6-hour because I assume that there may be some shenanigans before we achieve 32 pips on the breakout of a range that doesn't change for 6 hours. So here you're kind of putting a time limit on, is it going to break out? Because if it can't break out in the next hour, 15 minutes, these will delete themselves. And you could put 12-hour and daily, you could bracket this thing. But I'd recommend putting about 20 different versions in because some of these you do want to risk just 8 to make 18. You want to make each one of these tickets unique, 13 to make 28. So you just build all this stuff, and then you've got trade plans. So you could double click these from a tablet. So you can put on hedges. And then the hotkey thing is, these are typically market orders, 1 through 3, but you better check it. And this is just because Alt is the, you're allowed to have Control or Alt for your key. You're allowed 72 hotkeys in MetaTrader. So I just made it Alt 1 for sell and Control 1 for buy. And then all the way to 0. But I call it 10 here, but it's 0 to the computer. And so that's that. And yeah, I mean, sure, go run all those indicators, I guess, if you want. I just can't imagine at this point. Like I said, I'd kill myself, I think. I just find a bullet in my head. Oh, look at I'm getting filled on my tequila trades here. Let me try to get in and let me try to weasel in on some more of this guppy. Since I just found out I got more margin here, I'm going to use my I'm going to come in with the buy drops and chase it. My 5 pip stops, my 8 pip stops. I'm going to put a couple juicy ones in. Try to make 36 pips with a 10 pip stop. 6-hour buy stop there. Let's try to get it in tight. Got enough margin almost to get in at the market here, but I don't want to here. If this thing kind of pull back, I'm just going to buy right there. So this way, I'm actually being confirmation guy, and I'm being daredevil stop hunter. Here's the stop hunt. Here's the goober confirmation. There you go. Back to 1400. No worries. No worries. I think the college fund, I told my wife the college fund is intact. Needn't worry. We're making small turns with this ship right now. I'm checking for rogue waves. I got a buddy. In fact, I just hired some guy to look. He's holding. You got the laptop, buddy? He's got the laptop in the corner, and he's holding on. You see any R waves? We don't like to call them rogue waves. He's a little shell shocked from. He's been getting emails from the people that lost. We call it the R wave. We don't want him to end up. I don't know. I'm buying the British pound apparently. I put super tight stops. I ain't giving this market no fucking room. 2-hour drops. So it's a lot of work. You know, putting all these tickets in is the work. Now, you may be afraid to put in a buy limit, 50 pips deep, and you may have no good reason for that. But I would say if you just look for the, what you're looking for is this. If you can identify a lonely bar, you can identify this. These are anything below that. is ripe for the picking. And I'd put some buy limits down here. Now, you may not get filled, and this is the beauty, is that instead of the indicators, the market's going to indicate whether or not it thinks it's on sale. Like, you're basically creating your own auction. You can say, you know what, I'll take it for that price, but no, you're putting limit orders in. I'll only pay that much and not a penny more. And maybe you never get filled the whole week. Well, it's the same thing as being at no nonsense or total nonsense. He's not getting filled. You're going to fucking let the market come to you. Listen, let the market prove you right. What are you going to do? Wait for fucking... This idiot waits for like 3:40 in the afternoon or 4:40. Okay, pull the trigger at the market. I see the setup. And then he's going to wait for the indicators to catch up. Who's got this kind of time? How long do you think you're going to live? I mean, another 100 years? Even if you're 25 years old and you're trading with total nonsense, don't you just want to get on with it? Get some fucking trades going? It's just mind-blowing. Here's a daily ticket. 12 pip stop to make 30. And I can put it there as a buy stop all day long. I'll bet you they fill me. Now, whether they tag me and trap me, that's a whole nother story. That's the 1 hour chart, by the way. So here I would say, yeah, all day I'm buying here. Or the next, all day I'm going to buy here on a limit. Love it. Great trade. I got available margin and everything. Love that trade. The guppy's going to go screaming north now. God, they pissed off that guppy. Hey, if you sold up here, I hope you're out by now. Because look the fuck out. This thing's pissed off. So is this. Computer is lagging. All I'm doing is taping this thing, and the fucking computer can't keep up. This is, I got YouTube open. I mean, Google's eating all my shit, all my resources. Get that stuff off. Plus, yelling's probably eating up too many bits. I just can't believe people fall for 80, 81. There you go. The popular people. If he's popular, he's the popular kid. He's totally full of shit. Popular kid. Unbelievable. He's like, you're going to be ready. You're going to be prop material, guys. Go to the Apari guy. Jesus, I mean, if you're really clueless, just go to Apari guy. Let him hold your hand. You'll be fine. I mean, they got a prop house. I don't know. Just go back to what you were doing. Here, 5 pips stop. This is how cheap I am. 2 hours. See, this is my favorite thing, is 2 hour auctions. Come on, babe. Come on, don't fill me there. Here, let's dare the market to fill me here in 2 hour. I got the dailies interwoven. Margin's becoming available there. I'm going to get picked up on this stupid non-directional trade there I just did the hedge on. See? Look at that. Look at this thing come roaring out of this hole here. Good Lord. Another pissed off currency ready to romp. Look how they backfilled that 4 hour slot. Sting. And where do you get heavy in? Right there when they come after Sunday's low. Who doesn't want Sunday's low again? Look at, they filled the gap. They try to fill that gap. Not all gaps fill. Oh no, what about that rule? I thought all gaps fill rule. And people will say, dude, you gotta have something for every fucking thing. You can't have this, well, I heard the gaps. You didn't fill. Now what are you gonna do? If you sold up here, if you're brave enough to sell the high of the last week, wow, what a daring trade. It was breaking out. We were all bullish up here. Yeah, I know they tricked them. Damn, market makers ran it up there and tricked everybody. This is what those one guys makes it sound like. This goof that's called market make. Yeah, well, that's why they did that. To get everybody excited. Dude, just you got excited. We all knew she was a hooker. What are you getting all excited about? She doesn't really like you. Well, I don't know. She came over here. You saw it run up, didn't you? Yeah. I guess you got in up there, huh? Well, yeah, didn't you? No, not anymore. Yeah, confirmation alley. Bodies strewn all over. Let me see, you bought here in confirmation. You bought here in confirmation. I bought here. I bought because it was up, damn it. I ain't buying when it's down. What do you fucking think, I'm retarded? No, we're not buying down here. How do we know it's not going to keep tanking? God damn it. Are you using that moving average I taught you? God damn, you're below the fucking cloud and everything. You shouldn't be buying down here, son. I got to get the whip out again? You dumb shit, son of mine. I had a guy say that to me a few months ago. Because you got any kids? I go, no. He says, you're lucky my kids are complete losers. Oh, that's lovely. But they love you too. His kids are like walking on eggshells. I know his kids are like fucking shaking in their boots. Good work, Dad. Look, we're going to go after a zipper and clean out all those stops. And if this is one of those wedges, as I suspect it is, we should make mincemeat of that thing coming into tonight. Just shear that fucker off and just go flying up into the balcony. Here's the other little pocket. So that's my target. My big target for a yen. I want to put some chasers in there. Confirmation. I'm just going to get in on a stop hunt. 12 hours. Give me those 12-hour tickets. Oh, shit. I lost them. Here it is. That's too wide a stop. Now I'm lost. It's under the scalp thing. Here. There's some juicy ones in here. Really greedy shit. Like, risk 10 to make 36. That'll take us to that window. 10 to make 46 hours buy stop. Put some buy limits in just in case. So here I'd actually rather put the buy limits really deep, and I put the buy stops very tight above. They're really market orders. Here I'll put one down shallow. So as it goes up, we'll fill in those goobers. And then we can stop hunt this, take this out like a zipper tonight. Shear those wicks off. And then we're on our way. Going north. Okay, this is the order drop update.